Banning foreigners from buying real estate. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to talk about what Canada has proposed, what's occurred here in Australia, and a counter-argument to foreigners being banned from buying real estate in Canada, and there'll be calls for it to happen here in Australia. Now, before we look at this article, guys, I just want to bring something to your attention. And this is something I mentioned many times in the past. Now, if you have a look here, this is from the Foreign Investment Review Board. This is all the data, but see that black line there? That's Foreign Investment Review Board approved investments in new housing as a share of the Australian Bureau of Statistics residential building approvals. So building approvals on the right-hand side. See how that black line nearly touches 100%? Foreign investors back between 14, 15, 16, 17 were driving a lot of building approvals. Now, I looked at this data from the Foreign Investment Review Board, and now when people look at that data, they can say, oh, well, look, more money's coming from America, more money's coming from that. But if you divide it up by the number of applications, most of the smaller foreign investments were from China and Greater China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, those areas buying a lot of houses and units here. And now my concern with that is this spike here lines up very closely with the overheating of the construction sector in Sydney. And now we're seeing all of the property issues that come out of that. All of these apartments that were just thrown up, guys, as quick as you can, because everyone's busy, flat out. You may not even be making any more money. You're working your ass off and you may not be making any more money, but then corners get cut, you don't have time to do things properly, and we have all these apartments with these issues again and again. So this is the thing with foreign investment. We've seen how it's overheated a market here in Australia. Now that's cooled down, but you can't say it doesn't have an impact. So let's have a look here. Could banning foreigners buying property end sky-high prices? Written by Eliza Bavin. So, Canada and Australia have a shared problem. Property prices are red hot. To fix the problem, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced a ban on foreign investors buying homes for 2 years. In Canada, property prices grew more than 20% last year. In Australia, property prices soared more than 22%. Now, I hope this is foreign investors who are not intending to live there. I hope permanent residents can still buy a home. You'd hope so. While the move in Canada has been met with different opinions, could Australia soon follow suit? Here's what we know about the landscape here. So, Australians have expressed concerns about Chinese investment in the Australian residential property market, specifically a UTS study found. A study found a clear majority of Australians, 82%, felt foreign buyers from China drove up Australian housing prices. Around 7 in 10 Australians, 69%, said Chinese investors in Australian real estate had made it difficult for first home buyers in Australia to enter the market. The same number of those surveys also felt Chinese investors had negatively affected the rental market for residential real estate in Australia. The majority of Australians, 78%, believe the government should restrict the amount of Chinese investment in residential real estate. However, the most recent NAB residential property survey revealed foreign buyers only accounted for 4.6% of the Australian property market. Yes, now. Okay? Not a few years ago, not when we had an apartment boom, everyone. Foreign buyers in Australia's housing market remain subdued and well below average, the survey said. So what is pushing up property prices? Property professionals identified price levels and a lack of stock as the biggest impediment for buyers of existing property. This is the not in my backyard crowd, everyone. This is the councils not allowing development. This is it being painful to build in Australia. And right now, that's just going to be exacerbated by you've got builders going under, left, right, and centre, and you've got material costs going through the roof. Oh, and remember, didn't the government do a little? What was it? They did a scheme. What was it? What was that scheme? Let me just. I can't quite remember it. What was it? Oh yes, it was the government coming to the rescue, guys. That's it. The three. a super low cash rate, home builder scheme, grants of up to 88 grand, now 200 grand where the government owns part of your house, 5 and 2% government loan guarantees, negative gearing, super withdrawing. It's that we're in a country here where government uses property to stimulate the economy. Okay? I don't know if that's ever going to change. I really don't know if that's ever going to change. I don't think it'll change in my lifetime. I mean, you can let me know if you think, we'll see this election. We will see this election, but I don't think it'll change. Essentially, Australia just doesn't have enough homes to sell to keep up with our rising population and demand. On top of that, concerns over rising rates were impacting buyers of existing homes more than at any other time in the past 3 years, NAB reported. So we have a media release here from Buyers. So, dearth of foreign buyers it's accentuating the undersupply of rentals. So because we don't have foreign buyers coming in, we're not getting enough residential rental properties. Okay. The absence of foreign buyers may lead to a significant undersupply of rental properties, according to Peter Wagner, co-founder of Australia's first online national marketplace for buyers agents, buyers. Mr. Wagner said, over the past decade, new apartment projects have largely been funded by superannuation fund investors and non-residential investors, mainly from China. And he's on the money there. I remember talking to PMs, helping put proposals in for apartment jobs where all of the money was coming from overseas. I had some mates who bought into a development, and just before, all the Chinese money dried up. So they couldn't sell it. They were sitting on this, they were holding the bag. And it's kind of a shame for them. So neither cohort is buying heavily anymore as credit has tightened and as the home builder stimulus impact recedes. We're heading squarely for a shortage of rental properties in some cities and locations. The number of residential real estate approvals reported by the Foreign Investment Review Board fell another 38% in the 2021 financial year to sit at the lowest level in a decade and a half, with no sign of the multi-year slowdown reversing. So, there you go, everyone. Look at this. See, that's what I'm talking about. That was the big spike. And, well, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Maybe our construction quality. That's a whole separate argument that just needs to be addressed. And it's, well, we've forgotten a lot of how to build properly, guys, to be quite honest. So, the value of Foreign Investment Review Board residential investment proposals also contracted another 6.7 billion lower to just 10.4 billion in the year to the 30th of June 2021. So, the comparative figures for previous years may not be directly comparable for several reasons. But back in 2016, the equivalent figure was many times higher at over 70 billion. Yeah, there you go. So, Queensland attracts residential investment. Buyers CEO Doran Pelleg said, you can analyse out the numbers by state and development type, but the residential investment figures are now so immaterial, they're not going to move the needle for new dwelling supply in any event. Queensland picked up some investment in new development, but overall the figures were very low for residential property, with the commercial real estate projects attracting the bulk of foreign investment and approvals surging to 82% as Australia's economic recovery took hold. Well, there you go. While our analysis shows some areas have enough new residential development in the pipeline, nationally rental vacancies continue to tighten as the Australian economy improves. Pete said there was a range of factors causing the lack of foreign investment in the residential sector. Firstly, there's barely any lending to non-residential investors these days. Non-resident investors these days. Once common among even larger lenders, regulation has effectively shut down this lending channel. Secondly, state stamp duty surcharges and taxes have also hugely discouraged foreign buyers. Thirdly, Australia's relationship with China has cooled over recent years, while the ongoing absence of Chinese international students has disrupted one of the possible channels for investment. And fourthly, COVID-19 restrictions and international border closures dissuaded some prospective buyers from travelling to inspect properties and developments. Policymakers may need to take a look at finding ways to allow non-residents to invest in new residential properties again. Now experienced Australian investors and prospective landlords increasingly tend to steer clear of new apartment projects these days due to the increased risk of loss on resale and, well, the terrible reputation they all have because they were overheated by an insane amount of investment, like we've seen. There needs to be confidence rebuilt in the construction sector. So, meanwhile, residential vacancy rates continue to tighten, with little respite in sight. So there we go, everyone. There we go. 2 takes on this topic. Canada banning foreign investment and buyers calling for foreign investment to increase rental supply. What do you reckon, guys? Let's have a talk. This just shows you how complex and challenging the situation is. I don't think there's going to be any easy answer. Everyone's going to be unhappy. If you start pushing for foreign buyers, foreign investors, not even resident investors, there's going to be a lot of upset people, particularly when they're struggling to get their first home. What do you think the solution is? I think we need, number one, we definitely need to increase supply. We need to reduce the impediments to getting people in houses. We need to reduce all of the costs that we can, all of these additional luxuries. Here in Queensland, you've got all these energy rating and assessment reports. That's just adding additional costs. It's there to win votes. It's not going to make any impact globally ever at all. That's one idea we should turf. We should make these type of schemes voluntary if people want to spend the extra money. We need to make it cheaper to build houses, guys. And we need to make it easier for people to do projects. Like Victoria, with their new development tax. Their land, you split up, you make money to do a development and they're taxing that. That's a stupid idea again. Everything getting in the way of getting new supply on the market. I don't know. These people not understand. They're probably like Albo and don't have any idea of the day-to-day reality of people. Civil servants and politicians too far removed from just the challenges of a normal person. Shit, guys, we should have all become civil servants. Stuff being independent, just go suck on the government teat. They'll probably even give you a house soon. Anyway, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Which side are you in? Should we stop foreign investment or should we encourage it to increase supply? And how are we going to even attract them over here? Anyway, guys, take care. And I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.